second here. I just want to do a quick little mic check. Joe, can you confirm you've got audio on your end? Okay, so we're right at 10 o'clock. We'll get started today. So just a quick little intro before we get going. My name is Bogdan Masala. I'm one of the business development managers out here in Vancouver. Also joining us on the line today will be Joseph D. Makuhai. He's our local IAM as well, representing most of BC. So for those of you that have had a chance to meet, it's nice to see you again. For those that we haven't had a chance to meet yet, hope to see you in person soon. And today's session, we're going to be talking about Workpapers and how that integrates into your workflow, what it does for accountants and bookkeepers ever since we've launched it, and hopefully we'll be able to give folks a few more tips and tricks as they go along the way and start testing out the solution in their internal office workflow. So, a few things we want to really accomplish with Workpapers. Namely, we want to be able to shorten the amount of time you get from QBO, for example, all the way to your tax prep software. A few of the things we'd like to eliminate are some redundant data entry, and ideally we want to get to a system where everything's optimized, data flows through, and hopefully we're aiming to get this Workpaper solution to act as that bridge in the meantime, and we'll take a look at how that works. So at the end of the day, our goal is to kind of have less to do, not get more done. I know a few folks when they talk about, for example, cloud accounting, and they say, well, I'm on vacation, I can work on vacation. Well, no, go on vacation, enjoy yourself, and use the time to kick back, relax, so that you can be more efficient when you are actually doing your work. So what it looks like when an accountant goes through their typical day. So first of all, we've got about 15% tax returns, and that can vary now, of course, given the time of year. We're all, for those of us that are doing T1s, pretty heavy into it, so that can flex. Then, just go back one slide. There we go. Then we've got about 25% on financial statements, about 12% on data analysis, 50% on bookkeeping, etc., which basically makes up about 52% of the time. So that's quite a bit taken on doing those tasks, and of course we got all this from Trial Balance Canada stats we've been looking at. So can technology help? Well, yes, in short it can. So let's look at some of the ways that we can get there. So for any folks that are used to a dedicated Workpaper solution, such as Caseware, AFP, Jazit, CCH Engagement, a lot of these programs are very robust. They typically cost a little bit more, and they take quite a bit to set up. And some smaller firms typically don't go down this route. But if you are used to a Caseware Workpapers type solution, this is kind of starting to step into that territory, and it's for folks that ideally just want to prepare some NTRs without any of the additional frills, essentially, on the side. Another couple things is, first of all, just a steeper learning curve, plus your setup and functionality, and of course the redundant AJE and data entry. So, is there a better way? Take a look. So the Workpaper solution is supposed to kind of bridge some of those gaps between having no solution and having something like a Caseware, Jazit, CCH solution in the meantime. So the best way to reach it is to go into your QBOA, so your accountant portal. It'll be on your client list, and you're going to populate it from there. And it's going to basically say started a return or continue an existing one, and we'll show you what that looks like in the program in a little bit. So essentially, what is Workpapers? It simplifies and speeds up the whole year-end process, but a few really nice perks is that it automatically creates your Giphy codes and helps you prepare your client's financial statements too. So while you would have to leave the system in the past to do all that stuff, now we allow you to do a lot of that within the program, within the QBO, so save a little bit of time there. And if you'll notice on the screen, you've got it set up with your account names, the types, you've got your prior and your current balance, so you can actually do comparisons of prior years. You've got your 2016 activity, for example, the dollar amount, the change, and you can make adjusting entries as well too to these, which then get pushed back to QBO. But at the end of the day, it simplifies your year-end process. It does provide that bridge between your QBO data and the profile tax returns. It also helps prepare those year-end statements. So why should I use Workpapers? So a couple things. You can review and prioritize accounts with adjusting entries, so that's always nice. Like I said in the past, you can also do the side-by-side comparison to record new entries and transactions without changing any of the Workpapers data. You've also got elimination of manual data entry with tax mapping, so you can save time with the accounts, with the account balances, and do the Giphy mapping right from the program. And then, of course, you've got the export tax-ready data to softwares like ProFile, so that you can move directly from your online cloud accounting solution to your tax prep in one go. So we'll show you what that looks like. It's essentially a file export, which you can then bring into your tax prep software after the fact. So let's take a quick test drive. So once you load up your QBO Accountant Edition, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this little 3 parallel bars at the top left here. You're going to click on the Workpapers solution, which will load the program. Afterwards, you can then choose to select or change the fiscal year. You can also view a timeline of the entries made by the client, the accountant, or both. You can view/verify the opening trial balance, view the unadjusted closing trial balance, view and/or record the adjusting journal entries. You can also view other non-adjusted journal entry transactions recorded by the client and/or the accountant. And it also lets you, at the end of the day, view the adjusted trial balance. Okay. So what you do is you start off by selecting the fiscal year up there. Then you've got the activity timeline displaying client and/or accountant entries over here. Then you've got the opening trial balance for your 2015, your 2016 unadjusted trial balance, your accountant's adjusting journal entries over here, your non-adjusting journal entry transactions, your adjusted trial balance, and finally, you can update the unadjusted balance right into QBO, and that pushes it over to the program. So most accountants have experienced instances where the client posts additional transactions after the accountant started the year-end prep. What this does is it often throws off the accountant's work, resulting in additional analysis and inevitable delays. But by transferring all the entries and the other transaction columns of the working trial balance to the unadjusted balance section, you can isolate these unwanted additional entries, because those can happen quite a bit. This slide demonstrates how you can take all the amounts from the other transactions column and send them to the unadjusted trial balance section of the Workpapers trial balance. This means that any further transactions posted by your client in the fiscal year will now appear in the other transaction section of the working trial balance page, which makes it easy for you to determine whether these additional entries are warranted or not, so as you can see right there. So posting an adjusting journal entry is easy. All you have to do is click in the adjusting journal entry column, record your entry and save it. Workpapers displays all adjusting journal entries in their own column, so click that little plus right there. Posting an adjusting journal entry is easy. Just click that, do the modifications, and then you can do the save or save and close. And there you go. That's the end result. So when it comes to adding source documents, annotating, etc., also we want to make sure that function is built out. So it's available where you can add work papers right now. You can also add attachments by themselves. And as we go more and more into the program, as we develop it out, we'll have more options available for this. But on the right-hand side, what you do is you click on the little plus through the work papers here. And what it does is it allows you to add a note, for example. So we need December 31st bank statement. And what that does is it sets up a little note here. And if you want to add a source document or schedule for the corresponding amount, you can do so on the very right-hand column. Same thing by pressing the plus sign. So you can see that's now attached in the actual account. And another thing to note is that Workpapers is built in such a way that it provides visual cues for any notes or source deductions that you added for each account. And you can also insert a check mark for an account that you have dealt with already. So right there. Okay, just so you make sure you don't repeat any work, you don't do anything over and over again. So once you've completed your account analysis, you have the option to print or PDF the trial balance, or you can even export it if you wish to Excel. So you would use these three options here. For anybody that's familiar with QBO, those should seem pretty familiar by now from the reports section. And essentially, the image on the left shows the trial balance in an Excel workbook. So that's what it would look like. And the one on the right shows the PDF of the same schedule. So slightly different arrangement, but all suited to however you want to get the data out of the program and start working with it after. So let's talk about Giphy mapping, because I've been hearing about this request for a long time, ever since I started with Intuit, and it's really nice to see that this feature is now available, which once wasn't. So I know it'll save a bunch of accounts I was in conversation with in the past a lot of time, and basically mapping that out and using a standardized format. So what you basically do is you select your account, you would select the Giphy mapping tab over there. So it essentially allows you to review the mappings that Workpapers has pre-selected for you. So you can edit those if you want to keep with the standard. Workpapers only mapped each account, but has grouped those accounts by their respective Giphy codes as well, too. So if you wish to change any of the pre-selected Giphy mappings, all you do is you click on the Edit Giphy Code to change the mapping. So right here on the right, you would select the account. And once you're satisfied with the Giphy mapping, you can print or PDF the group schedules. Or if you wish, you can even export the grouping schedules to Excel on the top right there. Perfect. And once again, the image on the left shows a PDF of the Giphy grouping schedule, and the one on the right shows the same schedule in an Excel workbook. So as you've seen, Workpapers, there's really no need to manually create and group Giphy codes. Even better is that Workpapers saves you time by letting you easily export the Giphy codes into your professional tax software, such as ProFile. So what you would do is, to get started, you would click on the Save Giphy Codes button at the top right there. And once you do that, you would launch ProFile. You would then open the client's T2 file. you would click the file, select QBOA import, find the GFI file that you exported from Workpapers, okay. And there you go. Your S100, S125 schedules are auto-completed by Workpapers export file, which saves you even more time. And if you need to change any of the mappings or account balances, you can even re-import the revised amounts, which is great. And this is also very valuable as you do your tax planning with your clients. So Workpapers also lets you save your work by creating a zip file that includes all the schedules and source documents for future references. So that's really handy if you ever need to come back to it. All you would do is you would click the Finish Review, click Add to Zip, Archive to Zip, sorry. And the archive file includes the Excel version of the working trial balance along with all the associated source documents and schedules. And the nice thing is we've also got financial statements built right in. So what that looks like, with a little bit of tweaking, QBOA lets you, with a couple of mouse clicks, prepare professional-looking year-end financial statements. And all you need to do is, from Workpapers, go to the client's QBOA file, click on Reports, choose the Management Reports, and click Edit to customize the report template. So for anybody that uses QBO and that's used to how our management reports look, it's a significant improvement over just the standard ones. It offers that really nice report title, the table of contents, the cover letter, which is essentially your NTR, your financial statements, and then of course your notes pages. So if you're just preparing simple NTRs and you're not doing any review or audits, since that one doesn't fall under GAAP, you're more than able to use the built-in functionality for QBO to prepare those statements. And the nice thing is you can also add as many pages as you'd like and include any of the reports built into QBOA into your final preparation. And because the data is dynamically linked, any changes you make in Workpapers carries through to the client's underlying data and to the financial statements too. So that's great if any adjustments can be made, any tweaks need to be made, everything's up to date. And finally, here is how you have your clients, your financial statements with the NTR, the table of contents. It's completely automated and it's updated by QBOA. So very powerful stuff. I'm very excited to have had this out for a while. Some folks have tried it, and there's just a great opportunity right now as we head into T2 season for anybody that's got December 31st year ends. If you have any clients you'd like to use this with, it's a great alternative to some of the solutions already out there. So at the end of the day, what we want to get at the fact is that we're going to be saving you some money from competing softwares that do the Workpapers preparation. It's going to be easy to use, dynamically linked. It's not going to cost you anything, which is also a big plus. And for folks that do NTRs, I mean, this is just going to save quite a bit of time and get things going a lot faster and have things linked dynamically so that you can always go back, change stuff. It's automatically included in all the reports. So what we're going to do is we've got Joe on the line. He's been asking some questions here. So we'll take a few moments just to see if there's any other questions we could answer. Can you import to DT Max? So you can, I believe you can. It will work with ProFile, but it will work with other tax prep software. So it's basically that GFI file that you send out. So yeah, it'll work with most tax prep softwares right now. And is it available for QB Desktop? From Hobbit, great question. Right now, I don't believe it is. I think QBO Workpapers is just a solution built in for online, hence why you can see it through the dashboard. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop into my QBOA really quickly so I can show you folks what that looks like. But for anybody that's used to the navigation through QBO, you would pop into your accountants tab at the top left there, and that would essentially display your client list. So I've got one that I started working on right here. It's a sample hockey school, and pop into that one. I've already started a review, so for me it's just a matter of continuing it. But it's pretty easy to access. It's all built into the online solution, so it's got that availability to save you a little bit of time. And then obviously, as you make changes in this, it'll push you right into the QBO file at the end of the day. So it's and just to show you an example here, let's see if I save these GIFs. It'll pop in a .gfi file here. So to answer some of the other questions, yes, it will work with other tax prep softwares that allow GFI imports. Let's see here. Can you assign Giphy codes in the chart of accounts without having to start Workpapers? Good question. I believe it's all built into the solution. I mean, you can, of course, assign account numbers to accounts within QBO directly, but I believe the Giphy mapping function is available right now exclusively through the program, so we'll have to just double check for that. Okay, and then small clients that have not incorporated yet. And is there a need to use this for those unincorporated clients? I'm just trying to kind of figure out the scope of the question here. But going back to it, at the end of the day, when you've done your Giphy mapping, you can save everything up here, finish the review. And for anybody that doesn't have a perfect 100% recall from this webinar, there's a really great little tutorial built into the Workpaper solution right here, which says tell me how Workpapers works. And what it'll do is it'll take you through a full end-to-end demo basically of how to use the program. So it'll kind of highlight where your activity timeline is, once again show the adjusted trial, unadjusted balances, adjusting entries, et cetera, et cetera. So it's very easy to start using in here. And of course, another way to learn a little bit more about the program and find out some additional functionality is to reach out to your business development manager, your inside account manager, get some help from them and see what else they can do. So let's see here. We've got a few more questions. Good question. So how much customization is possible on the financial statements? Great question. So let's pop into that client. Let's go back to, excuse me, to our client list. And I'll just show you the account down here. So we'll pop it in. Perfect. So let's pop into the report section. And just as a little aside for anybody that doesn't know, a little trick we like to do is if you ever need to access any reports quickly through QBO, and you're using Chrome, for example, let's say that I want to pop into the manager reports, and typically I'd show, let's say, an expanded company financials or basic company financials. What I would do, just to quickly access so I don't have to go to the reports and navigate here, just take that. Okay. So we bookmark this page. Once you pop in. Oh, sorry, not this one. Reports. Let's go to balance sheet. There we go. You bookmark your balance sheet if you want, and then what you do is you'll notice here I have a few things: customers, suppliers, employees, banking, etc. Just really nice and easy way to navigate the program while you're in it. But anyway, getting back to it, so In terms of customization, we've got a few abilities. So first of all, you can customize the general look of the report. You can edit the rows, columns. You can filter, and then you can also adjust the header and footer there. So once you've actually done any of these customizations, you can save them for later use and bring them back to these reports if you wish. Okay. So with regards to doing a T2125 and a T1 return, we will have to get back to you on that one, Nadine. Just have to double check. But speak with Jessie after. she'll tell you for sure. Can we reverse once we updated then adjusted the trial balance posting? Yeah, so you can do an adjusted after, and as we showed in some of the previous slides, you can block it out. So any adjustments that are made after the fact, it'll highlight in your workpaper solution, so it'll show if anybody's done any tweaking, any editing, so you don't kind of do any redundant work or have any numbers that don't match up after the fact. Okay. And I do bookkeeping in this personal tax as well. This would save me time having to repost the T2125. So there you go. Thank you for that, Connie. If there's any others, we're going to be on the line for a few more minutes here, just kind of answering any questions until we get to 10:30. But for anybody that wishes to drop off early, thank you so much for attending. If you have any additional questions, like we said, please reach out to your inside account manager, your business development manager for some more info on the workpaper solution. It's available in the program. You can use it right now. And for anybody that's been able to multitask, which a lot of folks are using their multi-monitors now, during the presentation, I've had a chance to try it out, test it. Please come back to us with any questions. And with any of these programs, one thing we always like to ask everybody is if you have a chance, you like something or you want to see something a little bit different, just pop into that lovely little gear icon at the top right, click that feedback button, and just let us know what you think. That goes right to our development team. And also let your account manager, your inside account manager, know if there's anything we can do. So on that note, thank you all for your attention. I know it's very hectic right now during tax time, so we want to make sure that any time you do spend is used as best as possible. So thank you all. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll be on the line for a couple more minutes answering any questions that folks have. Thanks so much.